Everyone, welcome to the channel. If we are new to one another, my name is Jamie, and today we have a comparison video of the Samsung M8 Smart Monitor, as well as the Studio Display that's right behind me. Now, both of these devices came out around the same time in 2022, so sometime last year, and they do have an uncanny resemblance to one another. However, they're very different. So let's go ahead and get started. And I do want to get started with the Samsung M8 Smart Monitor because it is newer to me and it's new into this studio. And the reason I went ahead and picked up the Samsung M8 Smart Monitor is because I needed another monitor for my day job, and I needed it to work well with Windows. And even though I was very tempted on just grabbing another Studio Display, I wanted to give this one a chance because it's been on my mind for quite a while, and I'm very happy I did. And in the box, you'll go ahead and you'll find everything you need to get you started, including a USB-C to USB-C cable, an HDMI cord, its power brick, a remote control, and a slim fit camera that magnetically attaches to the back of the display. The display itself is 32 inches in 4K, and it comes in 4 different colors, including green, pink, blue, and white. Clearly here I went with the white, but if you do opt for a color, it'll only be the base, the stand here, that's that color, as well as this lower chin. The back of the display on all models are white. And what makes this monitor particularly unique is that it's smart. So you can use some of its functionality without even connecting a computer to it. You can casually browse the web, utilize popular streaming services, watch content without a subscription, and even edit documents from your Microsoft 365 account. You can choose between Bixby or Alexa as your smart assistant, which is great if you have Samsung SmartThings already set up in your home. And the monitor does have built-in speakers and a microphone, but the speakers are just simply okay. They don't get that loud, and I do find myself relying on the speakers of my laptop because it's substantially louder. And one thing that I think could be done better in the future is unfortunately the slim fit camera. I think it's a really cool concept of attaching it and detaching it, but unfortunately it gives me this awkward angle of where you could only really see my forehead unless I lower my standing desk to an uncomfortable height. Now, thankfully it is detachable, so I actually just attach my Logitech 4K webcam because that gives me better viewing angles when I am standing. The webcam does have subject tracking, but it only works in certain applications, and unfortunately, those applications aren't Zoom or Teams, and that's where I hold the majority of my calls. And I will say that the display and build quality were very well done. Unfortunately, it is made out of a plastic and it is a matte display where personally I prefer glossy or glass screens, but it is a super thin display, and that's because the battery is detached into a power brick that I just keep tucked away in my desk shelf so that we could keep it off the floor and off my mind. And the stand itself is adjustable, which is nice because it rises up to 6 inches off of your desk and all the way down to 1.5 inches from the base, which is nice so you don't have to rely on a monitor stand to get the viewing angle that you prefer. And currently the Samsung M8 Smart Monitor is on sale, and you could even snatch it up for even cheaper like I did if you do grab it off of Amazon, so it's always worth looking or even looking for an open box price. So now we'll go ahead and move on to the Studio Display. I do have a whole video on the Studio Display itself, so we're just going to highlight some of the key features and specs that I've been really enjoying and some of the things that I have not so much enjoyed about the Studio Display, and then ultimately at the end you'll be making your decision either way. So here we are, the Studio Display, and I gotta say, it's nice to have a affordable display option from Apple. And there's so many great things to say about this monitor, but affordability is a vague and it's a relative term, as the Studio Display starts off at $1,600, and depending on how you spec it, if you start to add on nano texture as well as the tilt and height adjustable stand, you could surpass over $2,000. And depending on where you are in your desk journey, you could use that money to actually grab 2 Samsung M8 monitors, new keyboard and mice, better speakers and webcam, and still come in under the price of a base model Studio Display. So just keep that in mind as I start to tell you all the things that I love about the Studio Display. And like the Samsung M8, I've now started to see deals from third-party sellers as well as refurbished models from Apple themselves, making this 27-inch 5K display perhaps even more attainable. And if you rely on color and brightness, the Studio Display is leaps and bounds ahead. Its aluminum build is just absolutely premium, as are the built-in studio speakers and microphone. The webcam is more usable with its center stage, but the quality still doesn't compare to the Logitech 4K webcam or using a dedicated camera. And on the back of the Studio Display, you have a Thunderbolt port that you use to connect your included Thunderbolt braided cable to your device, as well as 3 additional USB-C ports that you could use to transmit data or just to charge up your other devices. And I don't think I mentioned this, but the Samsung M8 also has 2 USB-C ports as well as its HDMI port that you would would use to connect to your computer. What's unfortunate about the Studio Display is that it does lack versatility. Even though it has built-in storage, comes equipped with an A13 Bionic chip, it doesn't let us use this technology to our advantage. It would have been cool if it came with Apple TV, very similar to the TV features found on the M8, or even the ability to just connect it to a gaming console without having to find a workaround. Again, a fantastic looking display as well as this build, but might not be the right option for you. If you are a student or you just live in a smaller space, the 32-inch M8 just allows you to do more with only one device. You could use it to watch television as well as work and game, all for an affordable price. And yes, I know that is still a relative term, but it is 1/3 of the cost of the Studio Display. So, which one? Like I always like to say, that is up to you to decide, but I do hope that you found this video helpful in making your decision. Do let me know which one you end up picking up, or if there's a different monitor I should be checking out. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, you know I appreciate you. And until next time, see ya.